Hey Joe, how you doing?
Good mate, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Yeah, oh man, it's so good to see you again. I feel like we started our careers together, and we've
We
since
did?
then gone in obviously very different directions. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
good to reconnect.
I think it was back on Captain America, wasn't it?
I love
Second year,
film.
probably.
Yeah,
Which was good fun. You weren't on John Cars from Mars, were you? That was my
no, that
No,
oh, that's
official
the
first
first
one.
film. Yeah,
It was, yeah. It was
nice.
difficult.
But we were studying together at University of Hertfordshire, right?
Mhm.
And yeah, I ended up dropping down a year. That's why I didn't sort of see you for the first, got to know you in the sort of like the second year. That was when you were sculpting your amazing mask headpiece thing.
Yep.
Absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Similar weird thing, a completely different style, but I was making my helmet that's long and
Yeah,
like
man.
both
Yeah.
doing long-headed
Yeah.
sculptures. Mine was very sci-fi, and yours was very fantasy. But
Completely
you still
different
have
animals.
that, right? Eh? You still have that
I
helmet.
do, yes. I've still got it here. We're just saying it's quite a relic from the past. So,
Yeah,
um,
so beautiful. I love it so much.
um, yeah, it's like what 11, 12 years old now. So it's gone quick, man. It's fucking flown by.
Yeah,
Mm.
and yeah, I mean, you were off to a flying start from the start with things like that. Everyone was just like, okay, yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, it was weird. Captain America was quite an intense run. Eh? There was four of us from uni all traveling in and out together.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. It's really hot. It was just such a shock to the system, I think, especially from being at uni where it was quite a relaxed course, wasn't it? I mean, we sort of I don't know about you, but I kind of very rarely went in. I sort of when I did, I went in at like noon, had some coffees, went for lunch. It was very relaxed, and then going into a film environment after that, getting up at like I can't remember like half four, five, getting in the car with Dave, and just full days, and it's freezing cold and
yeah,
smelly. Yeah, such a shock to the system. An amazing experience, but Jesus, I mean,
yeah,
yeah, set the tone.
yeah. We definitely got slapped in the face by the working world, didn't we?
Really did. But yeah, I think we got through it and we made those contacts and
Totally.
they called us back, didn't they? So and we're
Yeah,
still here. So it all
yeah.
kind of, it worked out in the end.
I feel like almost all of our contacts have sort of flowered out of in every direction, even though maybe just slightly different people we've worked with, but most of those people were on Captain America that time, and then like obviously Mark Rocker was there at the start,
Mm.
and then yeah, Alex Rutherford that you probably worked with since, and Roland as well you've worked with a bit more since then, eh? Roland Stevenson,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, all
Mm.
of them at one point or another, and they're all off doing various things, which is great. So everyone's busy, especially at the minute. I mean, there's so much going on,
Yeah,
so many different projects, all exciting and interesting. So
yeah,
yeah, man, it's great. It's cool.
yeah.
Done lots of interesting stuff. So yeah, and then we went on to do like, were you on Thor 2? Did you come onto that with us?
Thor 2, I didn't do Thor 2. I was on Edge of Tomorrow when that was going on.
Oh, yes, of course you were. Yeah, yeah. So that's when I sort of carried on with like Roland's lot and
Excellent.
doing sculpting and yeah, kind of had my little break into sculpting at that point. It's when they started giving me those sorts of jobs, which was great. So did some really nice. You can't see any of it in the film, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Or there was this one bit that I was really proud of, and it's this like little crow stand with these beautiful like curled ends with these like snake heads on, and I'm really proud of it. It's really nice, and it comes on screen, and it's behind like Anthony Hopkins' head, and it's just completely out of focus. So you
Oh
could
no.
have cut out, just all that time for no reason. And then this beautiful banner head, which again I spent quite a while on, and I really liked it. I was really happy with it, and they just cut those out of the film, so never saw those either. But it's the way it is, isn't it? Just some stuff makes it, and other stuff not so much. So.
Yeah, it's funny because at the time you never know. It could have got a real close-up, sharp shot, but that's
Yeah,
up to the director.
chance. Can't take a chance. Can't do a poor job, and then it's like Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's good though. At least because on Captain America we were doing more model making stuff, and obviously you were naturally drawn to more sculpting things.
yeah,
Yeah. So that was great for you to start working more in that area, right?
definitely. Yeah. Yeah. I wish I'd known sort of back at uni kind of how varied I'd have to be with my skills, because we on a course, as you know, we were split into 3 groups, and you were doing model making, right? Were you doing model making?
I started doing the model making pathway. I switched to special effects because I wanted to do more machining. I wanted to do more of the the mill and the lathe stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of crossover, right? But at the same time, I would say the one that you were doing, which was the character side, they really did just stick to sculpture and molding, for that. Yeah.
Sculpture molding and sort of fabrics and puppets and that sort of thing, which was all great, but I just don't think we realised that when we got into prop making, which was what we were sort of geared up for, that it would be just so diverse, and they'd expect us to be able to do sculpting plus everything else. Sculpting, it seems to be like an extra skill on top of everything else that we need to be able to do. So yeah, it definitely had to learn stuff pretty quick to kind of keep up with what was expected of us, So yeah, quite a steep learning curve, but good. Kept it interesting, right? With like 10 years on, and every day you go in and there's just something new you've got to just learn how to do. Can be quite daunting, but yeah, it just keeps it interesting.
I think you learn to trust yourself a little bit more, which we didn't have at that time. I remember, in the cars we'd have like little meltdowns, just going, I don't know. It was like, I pissed this person off because I didn't know how to do that straight away. And of course we didn't piss them off. They didn't expect us to know. We were fresh out of youth.
They didn't even see us,
Yeah.
I mean.
But yeah, obviously, yeah. Now you kind of know that there's people to ask, or you know that you can figure it out, and that's kind of nice.
Yeah. And also you kind of get your niche, so you kind of get the other people coming to you and asking advice on stuff, which is so nice to kind of be in that position now.
Yeah.
And having kind of juniors and trainees and coming up to you and asking you for advice on how to use various things. And it's really nice to be in that position now. Kind of roles have changed.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really enjoying that. It's nice part.
Yeah, good to give back. It's an exchange thing,
Definitely, yeah.
Definitely. What was next for you after Thor 2?
Let me think about this. So it was Thor, and then maybe Guardians.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So again, that was really fun. That was I was only a junior at that point, and again we got some really interesting stuff to do. So like I was doing those bits on the orb, and
I know, man. Yeah, the orb that he gets out of the ruin at the beginning of the film, the all intricately sort of organic looking one. Yeah. And later in the film, I helped Alex do the more mechanical one. I was mainly working on the inside mech. Alex did most of the outside stuff, but yeah, it's cool. Hey, there was loads of lovely little gadgets and things on that film.
Yeah. And those like turbo projects you did, where didn't you do the DNA?
Yeah, totally.
And I did that like golden idol thing, which was really cool. Right. And there was loads of really nice stuff on that.
Yeah, so that was I forgot that you did stuff for it too. There's like a DNA molecule that's behind the where he goes to trade the orb when he first gets it. He goes in there, and there's loads of items in that room. That was great. Hey, they were, like we were given like a week or 2 weeks to make what said item, and that was really fun. Yeah, that DNA molecule was cool. I did like an Egyptian space ankh thing as well.
Don't remember that one.
Yeah.
Maybe it's,
It was all like acid etch stuff. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it was kind of fun anyway. Yeah, man. I don't think you went on to Avengers 2 after that, eh?
Yeah, no, I think I what did I got? Tarzan maybe?
Cool.
Might have been Tarzan. So again, I was sculpting stuff there, which was good fun. And hey, buddy. Sorry, dog's coming. Hey, buddy. And that was great fun. met some new sculptors, learned some new tricks, and that was great. And then was on with those lot for like Beauty and the Beast, more Disney films, which was good. Beauty and the Beast was probably the most enjoyable film, I think, just for a sculptor. Sort of all the Rococo stuff we were doing, just beautiful, man. Just a pile of technical drawings on my desk of just, when you get ready, just do this one and then this one and then this one. I just sit there at my desk, headphones in and coffee and just big clay sculpts, you know. So it was beautiful.
Wicked.
Really enjoyed that. So that was long hours as well. There's so much to do, but it was just a good laugh. So yeah, I did that. That was great. And then I can't remember what happened then. Maybe, I mean, it was like Doctor Strange came up, and Dumbo, and did a bit on Maleficent 2. Ready Player One, I think, was after that one. Actually, that was really weird because obviously that film is pretty much all CGI. So we were making blocky weapons for the actors to hold and interact with, and then they kind of skin over the top of them in the film. So we get these beautiful technical drawings down, and I remember getting this one in particular. It was a crossbow, and it was there was like a dragon coiled around it, and it was gorgeous. And I'm like, oh no, you're not making that. You're making like a blocky version of it with like nothing on it, just like it's heartbreaking. Yeah. It was heartbreaking. But it's just the way it is.
Yeah, I suppose, especially that one. You know, to be fair, for that film most of it's being set in a virtual world, it kind of you can get away with all strategy, I suppose. Yeah. Yeah. But the other ones would have been good. Like, you know, like, were you sculpting on the other films that you mentioned? Was there anything that stands out?
Yes. Dumbo. There was a fair amount of sculpting on that. So I did all of the on his main carriage. So when you see it, it's got all the sculpted details. Did all those bits, which were really good fun. And anything that you see on the side of a carriage basically was sculpted. And stuff, which was really good fun. Again, just sat on the bench and just, you know, pushing mud around.
Yeah.
You know how it is. Sorry, Joe, can we pause it for a sec? The dog is...
Absolutely, mate, yeah.
Let me just take...
So we got up to, you were telling us about Ready Player One and the blocky stuff on that.
Yeah, that was good fun. I did, there was one nice sculpt, and it was like basically like an armor rack for, I think, the bad guy's haptic suit, and that was quite fun. That was nice. Nice. But apart from that, it was like kind of consoles and weird stuff. I made a big vending machine, which I'd never made anything like a big vending machine before, so that was fun.
Sort of stuff. Was that MDF or was that?
Yeah. And then we're like moving bits. But that was, it was alright. It was good fun. You know, it's all good experience. I think you're a bit, when you're given a technical drawing and it's to make something that perhaps you're not comfortable with, you get that initial kind of, oh god. But then, you know, like you said, a bit of confidence in yourself and your abilities, you work through it, you know, and it's fine, and you learn some new tricks, and then those tricks come in handy for something you get further down the line, you know, so it's all good stuff.
It is. And for you, a lot of the skills you've been learning on film, you've been feeding into your own personal work in a big way. So, yeah, seeing that beautiful style that you started to establish with your helmet back in uni days, you've developed that even further, eh? Do you want us to talk about that project?
Sure, yeah. So I kind of initially, when I went to university to study this, I wanted to get into films and I wanted to work on films, but it was mainly to kind of get more experience in making things so I could do my own projects, you know. And so for a long time, I've sort of been developing the idea of doing what is essentially a kind of treasure hunting experience for people. It's all it is. At the heart of it, it's just that you go out and you find something. And I really, really like that idea. You know, kind of grown up watching exactly the same films as you, like Raiders of the Lost Ark. You know, just would kill to have that experience of being in the, you know, in the in there just looking at the golden isle, that's what I want. So I wanted to kind of maybe use these skills that I've learned in films to kind of work on an art project where people can have kind of that experience for themselves.
Yeah.
So I've been sort of making objects with the intention of kind of leaving them and making treasure maps, and so people can go out and have a little adventure and find these things for themselves. So that's what I've been doing, kind of in my spare time.
Yeah.
But, why not? It's kind of art, but like not in an art gallery. Like I don't want to just like art galleries are fine. Don't get me wrong, but I kind of like the idea of displaying something you've made in an environment which is kind of aesthetically appropriate for the object itself.
Yeah, close to a film set, I suppose. Yeah.
After seeing things that we've made and they've gone on set, and it's not just about the item, then it's about all of it. It's about how the environment adds to the item and vice versa. So I like the idea that you make something and people go into, I don't know, like a cave, and then they find this object, and that will have so much more of an impact because of the environment that it's in.
Yeah.
As opposed to going into maybe an art gallery and seeing it, or a shop, or whatever, or just seeing it.
And because of the journey that they take to get there as well, it's a moment of revelation that yes, they've made it, and yes, here's one of the coolest things they could have possibly imagined, which is your beautiful style of sculpting. And
and it's not, when they take it home, it's not just something that they've bought. It's they put it on a shelf and they might look at it every now and again. It's when they look at it, they're going to have that association with the adventure, that they got together with friends and they went out and they found this thing, and that's what it's about, So
I think it's a fantastic. Yeah. I think that this sort of experience, people buying experiences has become more of a thing now, with even escape rooms and even all that sort of thing. Secret cinemas become a big thing where they sort of put you in the film set before you start to watch the film. It's very this sort of immersive thing is quite a new thing, because it's obviously a lot of work has to go into it, but it's it's great when it's it's such a cool thing. And I think I think as
well, growing up with games like Fable and Morrowind and Tomb Raider and Uncharted and all those ones, and going around, and I know you like to explore as well. It's just something we travel and explore places.
Yeah.
And one of the big differences that I've always found when I've been playing like Oblivion or Skyrim and I'm going around is that in the real world you walk around and you might explore incredible caves and forests and stuff, but there's nothing there. It's just it's void of anything. So it would be so incredible to be exploring these places and then find like a chest or a shrine or something like that. And I can't think of anything more exciting personally.
No.
So it's kind of unlikely to happen to me. It's kind of what I would like to give to other people, to have that experience. So
that's so good. You're so right. Like even the most famous places in the world, like Pompeii or Angkor Wat, amazing. These are amazing film sets, but there are no props in them. Because of course it's valuable, they're in the museum, which is fine. But and they're probably a lot safer in the museum. But it taking them out of context is doesn't really do them justice. Almost like it would be incredible to see them
in situ. Yeah,
in situ. That's such a cool idea. I love it. So it would be great to add some pictures to this. And you also did like a little YouTube channel thing with it. Sorry, you got some YouTubers on board to sort of do like the first sort of test of it?
Yes, so I was testing it basically. So there's quite a bit to it, but I wanted to be it's impatience more than anything else. And I wanted to kind of put stuff out there and just kind of let people find it. And then they'd have that experience, and that would be great. That's the point of the project. But at the same time, I kind of want to see if they liked it or not, or it kind of did it work or what.
Yeah.
So I decided that I was going to sort of approach some people about it. So I made this object, this little idol, this little figure, And me and some friends, we hid it in a place called Barron Hill, which is an incredible, like, derelict mansion over on Anglesey and Beaumaris. And it's just this amazing building. It's huge grounds with gardens, and it's all overgrown and dilapidated. And we found this kind of like furnace thing. It's like all bricks with vines growing around it. So we hid this item in there. So we thought there's kind of a bit of footfall coming through this place. So we thought we need to kind of hide it. So we put it in there, and then I drew this map, which I've got here if you want to see.
Yeah, totally, man.
So it's this one.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Can you see it on your screen?
Yeah. If you bring it into, yeah, it's great. Look at that.
So it shows you the place, and then it shows you kind of the location of where I've hidden the thing with the little sigil thing there. And then at the bottom there's a cipher.
Excellent.
Which you can unlock with the keyword, which is in a key. So I thought that might help them along.
Yeah.
And that kind of tells you the specific place that it's hidden within that spot.
Yeah.
So I sent this message in what I assumed was an anonymous email, being all mysterious.
Yeah. And
later found out that I'd just left my name in the email, so they just knew who I was instantly anyway.
Yeah.
If you want to find this treasure, then, decode the secret message and it will, you can go and find it. So I kind of got a message back like, what is this? And ended up talking to the guys a bit. And they went and they had a look around and they kind of struggled to find it because I'd hidden it,
Yeah.
It's kind of difficult to strike a balance because you're trying to, with the cipher and the map and all that, trying to make it kind of not too easy so there's no challenge involved, but also not too difficult so that they'll never find it, so I kind of helped them along a bit, and they kind of
I would say, as much as they were great guys to get to go look for it because they're incredibly funny, and I actually enjoyed watching the video because their banter is just like hilarious, but they're not necessarily the sort of nerdy attention to detail kind of treasure hunter that you kind of needed for that, I think. So I'm not surprised that you had to help them along. They were a little bit slow in some places.
Yeah. Well, you see, when we were kind of researching who we might use, we thought that a good group of guys for it. But I noticed that one of their T-shirts, their merchandise T-shirts, it had on the back the Zodiac Killer cipher.
Right.
So I thought, they already know what ciphers are.
Yeah.
They've got it on their merchandise. They're going to know exactly what this is. That will help them along,
Yeah.
But didn't know what it was. So it's like, but they still found it, So it's all good. And I think they like they're kind of, I think, interested in doing more. So
good. Yes.
But I'm thinking about ways that I can open it up to lots of people, and kind of using social media and trying to interact as much as possible. So it's not like the same treasure hunt repeated over and over again, but there's loads of different things happening at once, and some of those things kind of overlap. Lots of different puzzles and clues and that sort of thing. And some things that you might find in one quest will be useful for something that will happen in something later on,
Wow. That takes a lot of organization, a lot of pre-planning, but it's very ambitious.
But, hopefully I'll get there one day. Making progress, slowly but surely, so, just got to keep at it. But, with film work, how it is, I mean, it's been nice kind of having a bit of time off because I can work on these things. But as soon as the film kicks off again, it just consumes all of your time, doesn't it? It's like 6-hour weeks.
It doesn't. As much as it can be kind of a creative job while you're there, you still have that creative urge to do your own thing. And like you say, you just don't end up with that surplus of time to do that sort of thing, which is the one benefit. Well, the benefit of being in lockdown is people have a little bit more time to work on these sort of things. So
yeah. So I just got to push it along as much as I can.
Yes.
All that stuff out there, and then hopefully that will motivate me while I'm working all these hours to try and
excellent
in bits of time.
Yeah. I remember when I came around to your place, it must have been year or so ago, maybe even longer. But
Was that last time I saw you? Was it my birthday party? Was it that?
yeah, was it? Yeah, that was
2 years ago.
2 years.
2
Jeez.
years ago. Yeah, gone quick.
But yeah, you showed me a big sort of mask that you'd done on a chain that was in a big box.
Yeah, I've got it here.
Yeah, excellent.
So this was going to be one of the things that you could find, and initially this was what I was going to hide.
Yeah.
Byron Hill, but we had to kind of get there, and it seemed a little bit conspicuous, so we went with the smaller thing at the end. But so it comes in a big chest.
Wow.
And it was nailed shut.
I love it.
But it's like one of the masks.
That's incredible, mate. That is so good.
So like sheen.
Yeah. We'll have to put some photos on the Instagram as well if people are listening to this. But at the same time, that's so good. So material-wise, it was made out of steel, right? Or what did you?
Which one?
So what material was that made out of?
This is cold cast with iron paste, so it's
oh, right, yeah, cool.
polyester resin, and then
it had a real weight to it. I actually believe it was, rusted, metal sort of thing. Yeah.
Technically, it is rusted metal because it is iron powders.
Yeah.
In the face of it, so that's what's giving it that kind of orange color. And then obviously you've got the added weight of all those chains, and all those chains are real, so it gives it that
nice.
That weightiness.
Yeah, it's the real deal, man. It's so good.
Thanks, man. I'm gonna probably hide that one of them. So when I start doing the bigger stuff, because I want to kind of do lots of small stuff, like I showed you that little coin thing I've been working on.
Yeah, do you still have that video?
Yeah, it's just about, it's not quite there yet, but you sort of get an idea. Can you see that?
Yeah, it's so good. All the filigree details, see all your skills from doing all that sort of Rococo stuff on film. Yeah.
So that's kind of an example of the smaller bits I'll be doing, but I want to do kind of full-size, human-size statues with working parts and so I mean it'll be fun. It should have impact when people find these things.
It'll blow people away, mate. It's absolutely crazy. And the other thing I really love, obviously the cipher work that you've done, your illustration stuff is fantastic as well. And you've always been a very talented artist, sketch, doing sort of pencil sketch stuff. And that's really nice to go with it. And you've shown me some of your designs there for what you've got in mind for the sculpture. And that's going to really blow people away. Yeah,
I'll send that one. Maybe we can put that on the video of the shrine in the mine idea. That I was thinking for this mask. That'll be quite an experience, I think. See what happens. It might not become anything. It might turn into something quite interesting that people are interested in taking part in. And I'm going to do lots of different factions as well. So I'm writing quite an involved mythology to go along with all these characters, and there's going to be probably 4 other factions with characters and gods that relate to this mythology, and they're all going to have their own style. So for this one, I've kind of taken influences from sort of Celtic art and like Maori, like Polynesian type, reel of those spirals and that sort of work, and then like North Native American masks as well. Like they've got really beautiful ball design. So that's this one, and then I'll be kind of using an assortment of other cultural sort of aesthetic styles for the other factions, sort of different color schemes and metals. And the next little idol that I'm working on is kind of it's like a woman's t-shirt, and she's sort of all gold, and it's blues and greens instead of this kind of dark metals, Just a bit of variation, and if people don't really like this style, and
oh mate, there's no chance of that.
But
you've got a really good knack for blending lots of different ancient cultures, so you can't never pinpoint exactly which one it is, but it feels like it belongs in some ancient culture somewhere. That's very hard to do, and you do an excellent job of that.
It was kind of to try and make something new, but also to stop people from kind of drawing thinking that that's what's influenced that, like that is where it's from, that's what it's about, you know, kind of thing. Oh, it must be something to do with the Vikings because of blah blah blah. It's like I don't want people to think it's to do with something that already exists. It's kind of a new thing.
Yeah.
And I think that will become more apparent as I release more and more stuff, and it will be kind of an individual, unique thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a Lord of the Rings style world building mission.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I'm kind of hoping further down the line as well, if people are interested, then I can sort of have like a website, and people can sort of decide which factions they like, and sort of quests will relate to those specific factions, and maybe they might find bits to do with it, say like the coin, and that will give them access to kind of higher level quests or adventures. You know, they get bigger and bigger in my head as we go.
Yeah.
And you know, Tom, his family own like an island up in Scotland.
What?
So yeah, I know. We were talking about maybe the idea of having some kind of temporary structure on the island. So, and the only way you can get there is by boat. So could you imagine doing a kind of quest where you have to go all the way, you have to get a boat, you have to go over to this island and find this tomb or this temple? I think it'd be so much fun. So yeah. In my head, it's that bit, you know, in Conan the Barbarian, you know, when he falls into that tomb and he's like, Crom, and he gets his sword from there because all the skeletons and shit. That's what I want, you know.
Yeah, man. Good. Like, yeah, like, because you know, you've obviously got the prop making skills, but also the set building sort of stuff, so you can do little bits of, you know, like ruined, you know.
Yeah, and
there's so much potential there.
The friends, you know, the people, the other prop makers that we know who are all sort of interested in sort of getting it going and giving a hand doing things, which is really great as well. So, you know, we've had a lot of fun sort of scouting out locations and just sounding our ideas out and getting sketches down and just sort of troubleshooting processes and design ideas. So from that perspective, it's been really good, you know.
Incredible. So how, obviously, like, you know, I love, I can imagine this being an extremely ambitious, like, incredible thing. How are you going to fund it at the moment? Is there, you know, like...
At the minute, because I don't want to charge for the experience. I want it to just be... I mean, I didn't want to really be involved in it. I just wanted people to sort of find this stuff, and then,
yeah, right.
You know, that would be it. But like I said, I'm a bit impatient. I kind of want to see if they liked it, and, you know, because you spend a lot of time, you want to see if they even like the thing. So at the minute, it's just I'm doing film work, and then I'm off for a few months. So the film's just financing.
They're paying for it at the moment, yeah.
You know, and then if something happens in the future, then I don't know, maybe like I don't know.
I think like a Kickstarter thing would be great for this, to sort of launch it as you know, like I've been speaking a bit to Johnny Fraser Allen, and he's sort of been world building, doing this sort of fantasy like board game. I don't know if you've seen it, like the Willow thing. I'll send you a link to it anyway.
Yes.
But he's done really well through Kickstarter in terms of getting it funded and getting it out there. Obviously, it's a very different thing being a board game to, you know, what you're going for. But I don't know, it's still a game, still a quest. It's still like, and I think people, when they see the idea and get excited about it, you know, people are willing to put some money forward for it. And yeah, that'd be great, just to sort of have that support as well and know that.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I think, like I've been kind of conflicted in terms of which way I want to go with it. Kind of initially when I tell you what we heard, right? So I was talking to mold maker Kev, and he was telling us a story about how back in the day, one of his friends was responsible for making some of the kind of very well-known crop circles in England, right? And he said that he did these, and he said he just kind of left them there, and years went by, and this whole thing snowballed into what it is now. It's everybody knows about crop circles and all the ideas around them about aliens and whatnot. Years later, he comes out and says, you know, I'm sorry, I actually have, you know, video footage of me doing this. I made these. And people turned around and said, you are delusional, it's aliens, you know. And I just fucking love that idea that he did something and it just completely snowballed into something, you know, people just speculating about what it could be when they're not given any information about what it is.
Interesting. Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know, if you just sort of put something out there and just see what happens.
Yeah.
So there was that, the kind of like, I'll do something and then I'll just fucking abandon it and just see if anything happens.
Yeah.
That's kind of looking at it in terms of like a business, you know?
It's a slightly different. I wonder how well that sort of thing would done in the internet age with the iPhones, and you know, like whether that secret or that mystery could be so well kept today, or you know, it might be, you know, because that was obviously before iPhones and things like that, with all the crop circles, kind of like, was that 80s, 90s sort of period?
Yeah, I think it was like 70s. I don't really remember the details. Now, but yeah, but still, just like a fascinating thing. So.
Oh, totally, man. Yeah, and it just like that. That is an example of something going viral before the internet. You know. Like,
yeah, and it's still around now. You know, everyone knows about it. So it's just fascinating.
Yeah, becoming a cultural, like just a cultural phenomenon, cultural artifact. Like, it's all part of UFO lore as much as yeah.
So if you were to do these things that we've been talking about, and you just fucking leave them, you know, and he just stumbles across it, and then you talk about it, like, what the fuck is this, man?
Yeah.
It would be really interesting just to stand back and sort of newspaper article, or it might see like a YouTube video years later or something. But I'm realizing that I'm far too impatient. You know, and I just want to be involved as well.
Yeah, and for one person to do, obviously the crop circles, that would have been lots of different people, I would have thought, involved in creating those sort of things. And you know, the things that you're making, there's so much work go into it in terms of like the design work and the I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of design work that went into the crop circles, but in terms of the make, you know, they have to do it overnight. It's a one night thing. But your props will take weeks, if not months, to build. So that's a slightly bigger investment of time.
Yeah, and then it's as well one of the sort of the differences with this as well. I mean, because film objects, they obviously they're standing up to a certain amount of scrutiny. If they're like a hero prop, you know, they're going to be big on screen for however many seconds it might be. Whereas something that people are holding, there's so much more involved in terms of you know, the materials you make it from and everything around it. Just like the way it smells.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you can't disguise the fact that it's like if I cast the object in a lightweight material, it doesn't feel like metal, and therefore as soon as you hold it, you know it's not metal.
Yeah.
So kind of got to work around all those bits and pieces as well, but also stuff that adds to the overall experience, which is a new thing to enjoy experimenting with. The kind of other the other things you experience, like
totally. On your Instagram, you've got a photograph of one of your idols where you twist their tongue to unlock their head, and then you can remove their head, and then inside it there's a tiny little scroll. And like that's kind of the experience of, you know, you don't just go, oh, cool toy. You know, it's got a whole something to discover within when you've even discovered the discovery kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Layers, man. I think it makes it more interesting when you know that there's more stuff going on with it. But there's some amazing examples, I think, in history of different objects. I mean, there's so much that separates just something that's been like mass produced, and it's just, you know, it's just something that's the same as everything else, something that has character and is unique and is separate from those things because of its history and the things it's made of, and just makes it special and makes it interesting, you know. Like I was doing some research on like different, you know, like Ark of the Covenant. I mean, we're getting kind of quite big here, but Ark of the Covenant, like Holy Grail, Spirit of Destiny. Like I love the Spirit of Destiny is just such a beautiful thing, and I've not seen it in person yet, but it's just amazing, like the layers that are involved in it. To think that was like initially just a kind of crude weapon, you know, probably not different from any other of the thousands that were just like that spear, but this one is different because of, you know, what it was used for, and then what it was used for after that point, you know, who had it. And I think
I'm very interested in
yeah,
that sort of section of history as well. And you know, during sort of like medieval times, like lots of relics. Almost every church needed a relic. You know, so there was a lot of relic hunters out there, and a lot of people forging relics to sell to the church as well. Like bits like, you know, shards from the cross. There was a whole bunch of like Turin shroud. Is it Turin shrouds? The cloth that was over with Christ's face on. They reckon there is a one that they've verified. I don't know. It's a little bit grey area, right? Yeah, but there's every now and then a new one will pop up and like, this is the legit one, you know, like. But
I kind of love that about them, though, that like I mean, there's like 4 or 5 spears of destiny.
Yeah.
Like around the world in various places, and they're all fake, every one of them. But it's just amazing, kind of what they were used for, and the power that they had. You know, it's incredible.
Even outside of you know, Christian mythology, with the South American stuff, with the crystal skulls as well. You know, the fact that some prop maker or some sort of, you know, stone carver or whatever made a fake thing that ended up in the British Museum. I just love that. Like, imagine if your stuff ended up in the British Museum. Like,
it's a dream, man. You know, one day you never know. Oh man, that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. I do kind of like the idea of I was talking to some people about this actually, like, because obviously I want to do lots of different stages to these hunts. So we were talking about maybe one idea could be like I could do a painting, right? And the painting would have sort of information within it, so you kind of have to work out what was going on, and this would lead you to do something. But the painting would be in like a museum, and you'd have to go to this museum and have to speak to a certain person, and you'd have to give them a certain password in order to get access to see this specific painting, so that maybe you could take like a rubbing from the frame or some shit like this.
Yeah.
Remember, like, what was that film with Nick Cage?
National Treasure?
National Treasure, yeah. That sort of stuff. I just love that stuff, man. It's
man. Like, it's slightly more cheesy than Indiana Jones, but it's still got a lot of the good questiness of it. I really like it. Yeah, and Nick Cage is awesome, obviously.
Yeah. It's all good fun, you know. Taking along. Yeah. So we'll see what happens next. You know, we've got some stuff coming up. So keep in the loop and check it out, see what you think.
Yeah, man, I would love to do this again, you know, and see more stuff, and catch up with where you're at with it.
And maybe I can send you some stuff, and you can plant it over in New Zealand, you know.
There are definitely some incredible locations around here for sure.
Yeah,
unfortunately, there are very few ruins or ancient civilization in that sort of sense, but there are a few bunkers and things like that. But that's one thing that I do miss from the UK is the, you know, like the stone circles and I guess the castles and a lot of the sort of ancient history there. But in terms of natural beauty, like one location that jumps to mind for, you know, a perfect place for your stuff would be like the Pinnacles where they filmed The Path of the Dead in Lord of the Rings.
Right.
I'll send you some photographs of it. These amazing sort of spires. And they look like they're sculpted. It looks like a film set, but it's just such a beautiful spot. You've got to come over and
awesome,
we'll do a treasure thing, and
that'd be great.
I think the folks at Weta would love it as well. I can see that going, you know, like some sort of collaboration. I don't know. We'll have to.
We'll worry about that.
But at least our friend group, I think, would be very interested in it, you know, and we could set something up.
That'd be real cool. Definitely.
Yeah, man. I'm super stoked to hear all about it, and I'd definitely love to catch up with you again and hear more about what other stuff you've been working on as well.
Absolutely, man. Definitely. Yeah.
Cool.
What do you think?
Yeah, appreciate that, Danny, and chuck us some photos, and I can chuck them into the video, and then we'll put them on the Instagram and things, and Nice one. Is it Instagram Old Gods? How do you know, is that?
Yep, that's it. That's it. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, old underscore God.
Old underscore gods, and the O in the gods is a 0.
Cool. Nice. Yeah, that's excellent. Right. Should we wrap it
Nice.
up there? Or is there anything else you want to talk about? Yeah.
No, I think we're all good, buddy. All
Yeah,
good.
sweet. That's
Nice
so
one.
so good. Thank you very much.
Cheers, buddy. Take it easy.
I look forward to catching up.